So we've got these verses from Exodus, which are, of course, the I don't know, how do you synthesize these beginning Exodus verses and then the ones that are about Moses and the burning bush. And I guess what we have is our main character, right? Who is the one we tell stories about when it comes to the liberation from you know the I mean, this is really the sort of the cornerstone story about God's freeing God's people, God's liberation from slavery to freedom. And the story that I think all of us, Christians and Jews, hearken to as that cornerstone story about how God acts in the lives of God's people and leads us from enslavement into freedom. Go ahead, Jane.
I love that Moses is such a flawed character and that God keeps giving him another chance
Another chance.
or a helper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the helper's pretty flawed himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, and then Moses's very existence is due to this funny thing that we're gonna kill all the babies, so let's hide the baby, and then the baby gets recovered and ends up being in the court of the Pharaoh anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks to the bravery of women.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
And that it was Moses' curiosity that got him involved in the first place. Why is the bush burning?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, during the children's sermon, which was about Leah and Rachel, the wives, and the trickery of Laban.
Yeah.
After the story had been told to the kids about
the trick story.
it was cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah.
They heard that story and they were asked, "What did you learn?"
Yeah.
And somebody piped up and said, "Don't look under the veil." Is that great? Just don't go there. So maybe Moses was like, should I do something about the bush or just keep moving along?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that kid's advice would have been just keep moving along.
Just keep moving along.
That's good.
There's Leah under the veil. Oh my gosh.
Had I not looked, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What else do you want to say about Exodus?
Well, that sentence in here is just so powerful. God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses, and he said, "Here I am. Here I am."
Yeah, I mean, as flawed as Moses, as flawed a character that Moses is, Moses continued to say yes to God.
Yeah.
And well, how did God? I mean, Moses. It wasn't like Moses had a lot of experience, right, with all that, but he just at every turn he kept saying yes.
Do you think that when God called to him out of the bush, that Moses recognized that it was God?
That's a good. I mean, I think that's a very good particular question about did Moses recognize God? And I think it's a really good question too, in a general sort of way. Do we recognize God?
Yeah.
Or do we walk on by? right? Which would make it so much easier. I mean, Moses's life would have been so much easier if he just walked on by. Yeah. So I guess he recognized something. Power, change, refinement.
Well, I mean, not only is this bush burning, excuse me, and not being consumed,
Mhm.
but now it's talking to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was Mount Horeb called the mountain of God prior to Moses coming upon it, or is it called that after
After.
the burning bush incident?
I don't know the answer to that question.
So if it was called by ancient peoples, the mountain of God, which many mountains might have been called, maybe you're kind of sympathetic then to looking for God or seeing God.
Could be. I have a note in my margin that says Horeb is the same as Sinai. Oh.
Hmm.
Not that that means much, but sometimes that's the word that gets used rather than Horeb. Yeah. I mean, so it's, yeah. I mean, is that what could have stopped him? Is that
Mhm.
on some level, maybe there was an expectation of meeting God.
Oh, this is not very helpful.
Mm.
Says it was considered holy or divine before the covenant was formalized, likely due to Jethro or other local Midianites recognizing it as a place of divine revelation.
Oh, okay.
Now,
But there might have
whether
been
this is true or not, I don't know. It's the AI summary.
there might have been a predisposition to
Okay.
to expectation of encountering God. Who knows? But nonetheless, Moses kept saying yes to God. Not, I'm going to move along here. There's nothing to see.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, should we take a look at John? See McLaren didn't really engage with John, mostly just Exodus, right? But let us take a look at John 8, 1 through 11. And that I have a huge coffee stain on, so
Ah.
that must mean something about what I've paid attention to. Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Well, it's so interesting to me that McLaren, who chose Exodus 3 1 through 15, which is the call to Moses and God saying, I am who I am,
Mhm.
that he didn't choose one of the I
I
am
am in John.
statements from John.
Well, let's try and say, do we think we might be able to figure, I mean, so his theme here of freedom, of sort of the journey from slavery to freedom, is that why he chose this?
I was wondering, here's this woman who was uh, accused of adultery. We're not worried about what the guy did,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, you're hardly able
Jesus,
to do it
Jesus
on your
draws
own.
Jesus draws that line in the sand.
Yeah.
And hey, if you are without sin,
Mhm.
um, then you can throw the first stone. So he's really freeing her from
Sure.
that uh, at
Yeah.
the accusation and the consequences of it.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that that's probably why McLaren has
Mhm.
that's the I mean, I have another note in the margin That's verse 6. They said this to test him so that they might have some charge to bring against him. And that's when Jesus drew the line in the sand. And my little note says this was never about her. That
Hmm.
this was about um, what Jesus, how Jesus acts, what Jesus was doing. And I think that that goes to the whole idea that it was Jesus who was freeing her.
Mhm.
What was he writing in the ground? Why
Yeah.
doesn't it tell us?
It wrote with his finger in the ground. And they kept on
Mhm.
quiet. I don't know, but I've seen some
Mhm.
movies where he's written stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, we never know. I mean, was
Mhm.
it just a line in the sand? Was it a all smiley face,
Mhm.
heart?
Well,
Mhm.
it says, let the sinless among you go first, throw the
Mhm.
stone. He might have written that in addition to maybe a few other things.
No, no.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
said it, he may have written it too.
Mhm. Maybe it's there just to say, in your own mind, what would he have written about me?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think the clue is maybe on page 37 in our book,
Mm.
in that first full paragraph. Often in the Bible, when there is a big problem, God prepares a person or people to act as God's partners or agents in solving it. In other words, God gets involved by challenging us to get involved. And maybe
Mm.
that's the point of this, is that
Yeah. And when
Hmm.
Jesus said, let you with, the sinless throw the first stone, they had no response. They
Well,
walked away.
other than
And
walking
because they
away.
they didn't know what to say. And so then he says to the woman, well, where are they? Who's
Hmm.
here to condemn you? No one. And
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I think who asked Yvonne, were you the one who asked the point or raised the point, or Sharon maybe that, adultery takes two.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and and that and that whole act that Jesus sort of put them in a position where they had to walk away. And in the walking away, I wonder if that is taking some responsibility for that other half of the action, Um, she couldn't have done that alone. So one of you out there is guilty of this. Yeah. And
and
either,
it says the scribes and the Pharisees, which implies anyway, men.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
No one has condemned her. Well,
And she was caught in the very act of committing adultery. So the partner was not missing.
no.
Right.
Not unknown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and as far as I think I understand, the only way it becomes more than the woman's fault is if the partner is caught in the act. If 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 it's just a story about something that happened, if a woman was to say he did this to me, none of that matters. But there is something about if he's caught in the act, then he is subject to some sort of law.
And he
But he's
clearly wasn't here.
no, no, no. But yeah,
Hmm.
he is most likely there in that crowd somehow. Oh,
The woman made me eat it.
Yep.
yeah. It's the way it is, right? Those women who that I was had just having a conversation with somebody about it seems like the maybe the it feels like maybe the greatest sin in our culture right now is not taking responsibility for oneself. The the blame, he made me do it. I have no responsibility in that. They did it. And I think I mean, I know our government, people in our government are doing that. And that I think that's kind of what is permeating some of the difficulties we have in our um communities together is that, if you don't take responsibility, then, if you blame it, whatever it is, on somebody else all the time, then there's no change. There's no ability to do better or be better or, yeah. I mean, again, it's the Apple story. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's just blame that on somebody or something else. Hmm. What do we got in Galatians? Galatians.
Well, I've got it up here. Let's see.
Mm.
I wrote down true freedom. Love others as you love yourself.
Huh. Okay.
Mm.
Well, for freedom, Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and did not submit again to a yoke of slavery. I think, I think a discussion about what the yoke of slavery is a worthy discussion. And I would suggest that the yoke of slavery has everything to do with um, wanting what you can't have, um, not taking responsibility. I mean, what is modern day? I mean, other than the reality of modern day slavery, and yes, that is absolutely true, and I don't want to discount any of that. And at the same time, what is the slavery each and every one of us might live under? Um, what is this? What is the yoke? What is the slavery that keeps us bound to our sinfulness or our
Peterson has I like the way he translates those verses. Can I read it?
Hmm?
It
Sure.
says, it is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. Just make sure that you don't use this freedom as an excuse to do whatever you want to do and destroy your freedom. Rather, use your freedom to serve one another in love. That's how freedom grows. For everything we know about God's word is summed up in a single sentence: love others as you love yourself. That's an act of true freedom. If you fight and ravage each other, watch out. In no time at all, you will be annihilating each other. And where will your precious freedom be then?
The freedom of loving oneself. All of our stoic Scandinavians have a lot of trouble with that one.
Yeah. I'm a worm. I'm a worm.
It's so much easier to go there than, I really do love who I am with all of my warts and insecurities. Yeah.
Is there a people group that doesn't do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there?
There are diagnoses for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Jews certainly feel guilty for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roman Catholics.
Catholics, yes.
Mhm.
What would they call them?
And those Lutherans beat themselves up. Maybe
Yeah.
Episcopalians. Maybe that's why we like being Episcopalian.
I think that's why we get so many Roman Catholics
Yeah, that's right.
disgruntled. And my husband called himself a recovering Catholic.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was very taken by McLaren's words on page 39. I mean that even have a whole new meaning in the world in which we live today. In the first paragraph on page 39, the italics, he says God is on the side of slaves, not slave owners. God doesn't uphold an unjust status quo, but works to undermine it so a better future can come. The
Mm.
revolutionary message is still unknown or rejected in much of the world today. If you believe it, you will live one way. If you don't, you will live another way.
Mm.
Isn't that exactly what we're seeing?
Yeah. Yep.
If people who believe that they are the ones that can, I mean, again, slave is a word that has so much packed into it, but it's still a word that, if people were to talk about who gets rounded up in immigration raids, it's those people who are unworthy, um, and you know, the
But so
kids.
interestingly, the people who get rounded up in immigration raids are not the truly unworthy. I mean,
Yes, exactly.
this whole big thing was made in
Yeah,
the beginning
yeah.
about we're picking up the worst of the
The
worst.
worst. Yes. God help us.
Your babysitter?
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, it's a big excuse to enslave those who are other, who
Yeah.
those are
Who
different.
are brown?
Who are not white.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't figure out these all these Haitians who've been
Eating dog.
lost their temporary status. I just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what are they going to do? Do they get sent back to Haiti?
and
Yeah.
where is anybody going to go in Haiti right now, right?
I don't know.
There's, yeah. No. Well, I mean, all we can hope for, well, what we can hope for a while anyway, is that everything gets stuffed up in the courts. So it doesn't, things don't, things don't move. But
Right.
I mean, there's still planes flying from Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport, taking whole plane loads of people off into detention centers elsewhere. So we can't see them.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
and
I forgot.
also so that the people who own those detention centers, which are not the federal government, can make money.
Yes, it's a money-making enterprise.
Right.
And I wouldn't, I guess, be surprised that that's what happens to a lot of Haitians.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
it's
mean, the
more.
federal government's paying for it, but they don't own it.
Yeah.
That's interesting because they had a segment on PBS months ago about these planes.
Hmm.
There's somebody who has a who stands up in the
The
parking
guy
ramp parking
who
ramp where he
observes the plane.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I was just, and it shows all these people in the dead of night coming shackled, going into these planes, and I was just horrified. But that's the thing about our lives. I completely had forgotten about that until one of you mentioned the planes leaving Minneapolis
Mhm.
at night. You hear about these things and you forget about them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
hear about the poverty in Sudan and this Ebola outbreak, and in a week or two you forget about it because
Hmm.
it's been replaced by something else.
Something else.
Well, and something stupid. I,
Something stupid.
I mean, I think that something stupid is incredibly purposeful, right?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Let's keep our
The
Right.
keep our minds and ears away from what's really happening.
Right. The liner in the pool.
Yeah, the stupidity of that.
Arresting the man who
Yeah,
saved millions of people from COVID.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
So they're actually this morning I saw that they're actually he's in contempt of Congress and
Yeah.
they're gonna put him in jail for that. Just
Content because he took the fifth, is that it?
uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. But
Wow.
what
yeah.
about all those
What
government people
what
who took the
about
fifth?
what about them?
Yeah. But that's
What?
a form of diversion.
It is.
I,
It
I have a question. So I'm always trying to make this, what do I do?
Mhm.
How do I respond?
What do I do? Yep.
And it's easy for, and I wonder if liberal media is doing this. I don't know. There's no such thing as liberal media, and I'm
That's not
so
true.
it's so easy to get angry at the BAGA people who are in fact enslaved, ignorance, poverty, who believe these things and tell them and want to just shake them and say, you have to change your thinking. And that's not the right focus, you know? My frustration should not be at them,
Mm.
but somehow it is.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think, Anne, you bring up that, I mean, the next chapter here, getting slavery out of the
Yeah.
people, right? What is it and how is it that I don't know how we want to say that, are held in slavery? We are enslaved. And McLaren says right on that front page of this chapter, we are enslaved to fear and
Mhm.
alcohol and
Mhm.
food and rage and worry and lust and shame. I mean, this whole list.
And
Uh,
I didn't mean to scoot us forward.
no, but
It,
it's time to scoot forward,
It all goes together.
you know, this and they fear the lash of their own inner slave drivers,
Mhm.
greed, debt, competition, expectation, and a desperate, addictive craving for more and more, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's a legitimate question about um, no matter where we stand and what we're espousing. Um, how are we slaves to um I don't know how to lies, to particular ways of thinking, to so Jane and then Sharon, I think here.
Yeah. I just finished a book by a doctor. Also, he's an attorney, um, currently fellowship in Yale. And for years, decades, he's been working on this concept of revenge. And the book is called The Science of Revenge,
Mhm.
Understanding the World's Deadliest Addiction and
Yeah,
How to Overcome It.
I
Oh,
got
And
that's wonderful.
this kind of endless circle of revenge, and
Mhm.
how
mhm.
much of that do we see that keeps cranking the wheel? It's
Yeah,
revenge, going to get back at it.
yeah,
Mhm.
It's a fascinating book, and the science now is fabulous. This idea, kind of like, here's your brain on marijuana. This is
mhm,
like, here's the same sort of places are lighting up with revenge when people are in that
Mhm.
state. And he has an interesting website that's
hmm.
called
Fascinating.
Saving Cain, CAIN,
Mm.
savingcain.org, that gets people into this help with undoing revenge.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all consuming in our
Yeah,
society,
yeah,
and that people come to believe that if only they had revenge, they would be freed.
exactly.
And you and I both know
Yeah,
that's
it
not
doesn't
what
work.
comes.
Doesn't work.
Well, and
And
so what McLaren is doing in this
Mhm.
chapter, I think, is more than
Mhm.
suggesting. that I mean, he does a wonderful rewrite of the Ten Commandments here.
Yes, yes.
Um, and I mean, that's not what freedom what
Hmm.
frees people, revenge or um,
But how do you get, I think you could link up that need or desire for revenge with the people who follow cult leaders.
Hmm.
Um, this spring, I read um, a young adult book about uh, Jim Jones,
mhm.
and
Mm.
you know, kept thinking to myself, how did people not realize
Yeah.
that they were being manipulated into killing themselves?
Mm.
And um, and that's so similar to what we see happening now. I had never thought of equating it with sort of craziness for revenge. I mean, it is crazy. And on the other hand, you have the more, which really, to me, represents oligarchy. I mean, those people have more money than they will ever need, than their progeny will ever need, and yet they keep wanting more,
More.
along with what is beginning to feel like a, I would say desire, but
Sense of entitlement.
uh, well, no, I mean, I'm really beginning to think like this thing with Dr. Fauci, and which is got to be related to the dismantling of the health
Right.
services of this
Yep.
country, that and and the strong belief that technology will solve everything, that they
Oh,
don't need us anymore,
Mm. Yeah.
and there's no reason to do the things that would keep us alive
Oh.
because technology is going to do everything for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Personally, I think they're wrong, but I think they believe that.
Well, and that's and that's been the supposition of many a science fiction book.
Yep, yep. And it's like we're living in that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Post-apocalyptic stuff is
Hmm.
written out that way all the time, right? Yeah, but I've not heard anybody
But
quite
we're in the
that
sort
way,
of
Sharon.
apocalyptic
Yeah,
part.
the
You know, we've gone past the pre and we're in the
Okay. Uh,
apocalyptic and we haven't
yeah,
reached
we're
the post
past the
yet.
pre.
but the way you just said that is wow. So wow. They just don't need us. So we are dispensable. So let the diseases take us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, and then in the
Yeah.
middle of all this,
Yeah.
they decide to start a program to change Head Start.
Really.
That was on the news last
Hmm.
night that they want to take Head Start away from the federal government and give it to the states. And one of the main regulations of the federal government is that it regards class size. That there is for 2-year-olds, I think there's just 2 or 3 2-year-olds with 3 or 4 caregivers. And then from age 3 to 5, it's a little bit different. But when they give this to the states can say, well, we can have 9 kids or 10 kids for one teacher. And these are poverty-stricken kids who haven't had the support, that our kids had when they were, many of them are from single family homes, and there's been so much that Head Start is so important for these kids. And I think, well, now, why are they going after this?
And they're yanking curriculum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things that Head Start was intended to help kids succeed in school. And they're, oh, it's not important for them to learn letters and numbers, or, oh, let the states determine that. And it's not things like toothbrushing.
Yeah, basic
Getting
skills
back to health
children
again.
don't learn at home because
And they're calling the Head Start
DEI.
indoctrination. All of this very, very basic education.
yeah. Sharon?
And it just can't be spent. It can't be. I mean, I can't believe that it could be taking that much from the federal government. I mean, why would they be going after this?
It's not
It's
about
only
money.
funded for about 1 in
Littlest
3
people.
eligible children anyway.
No, it's not about money. It's about Sharon, go ahead.
Well, I served on the local Head Start board for 10 years, which is your maximum length of time. And the ratios aren't quite as low or high, depending on how you look at it.
I'm going to
As
buzz
you
out
said,
my
Catherine.
appliance guy is here.
Okay.
Okay.
But since COVID, particularly, I mean, Head Start takes the most needy children, and I'm not just talking about terms of money. These children have often really severe emotional problems, no socialization,
Yeah.
especially since COVID, because I mean, some of those children obviously have moved on now, but their parents have not. And Head Start deals with the whole family, and regular preschool doesn't.
Yeah.
And Head Start's not allowed to take children who are
Who have disabilities?
who are violent or who have really strong disabilities. They can a regular preschool or a regular school like a 4K can say to a parent, your child was violent today, you need to come and pick them up and take them home. Head Start can't do that. So, I mean, if you follow that we don't need you anymore because technology will take care of us, why would you put any money into those children? Teach them how to go to the bathroom, teach them how to brush their teeth, teach them how to wash their hands, teach them how to eat with a fork and spoon,
Yeah. No.
teach them the alphabet. We don't need to spend that money anymore.
And yet
They're dispensable. Yeah.
Yes, they're dispensable, and they're in the eyes of the kind of people who have the power now, they're disgusting.
Yeah. God help us.
They interviewed a government official on the news last night who said this will save the Head Start comes from our taxpayer money. This will save our taxpayers money. And then he paused and he said, and it will be better for the children.
Will not be
It
better
was
for the children.
so amazing.
No, Kathy Brennan's wanting to say something.
There was a man, Art Rolnick, who worked for the Federal Reserve Bank. That is such a lie. He crunched the numbers years ago and said, if you get these children ready for school, you ultimately save society money. They finish school, they get jobs, they don't go to prison.
Right.
That is the biggest lie.
It is. And I think that's I think that's what that goes to Sharon's point again, is that it does not matter to people for whom anyone who is not them is expendable, is a
Well,
slave.
and the truth of the matter is that it's very hard to get Head Start teachers because federally they are not allowed to make the kind of money that you would pay the people who do preschool care at First Lutheran's preschool or
Isn't
Faith
that
Lutheran's
great
preschool.
anyway?
Yeah. So, I have two things I want to ask. Sharon, I would love it if you would kind of write that whole idea down, because I think it has just completely opened my mind to what's happening. That idea that those who have, that those who are in control, see the rest of us as expendable, and that that whole thing. That's the reason why we don't need any healthcare. That's why we don't need them.
Support.
If you would just write a couple sentences, that would be really helpful to me.
Mhm.
And Jane, if you would write down the names of that book and that website, that would be
Sure.
really helpful too.
Sure.
Because I can't remember a darn thing. I do want to have us. I don't know that we can draw any any closure, but I want to look at McLaren's thought here and see what you just how you see this. So at the bottom of page 43, in the middle of that big paragraph, he's talking about holy spaces, etc. And he says at certain times of the year and at special moments, when the people realized they had done something horrible, they would come to God's big tent. They would bring the makings of a feast, as if to say, God, we're sorry for our wrongs. We want to have our family meal again, reconciling with you and with one another. So here's some food to express our desire to sit down at the table of fellowship. We won't turn back. We'll keep walking this long road to freedom together. I mean, and what he's describing is a table of communion, and he calls that a meal of liberation and reconciliation. And I contend that that's part of our governmental problem, is that gone are the days when our representatives met at our tables in our communities with us, right? That separation is so huge that this sort of dream is inconceivable.
Worse than that, I think, is the fact that they no longer meet together except those who hold the same thoughts.
Right.
And like Brian Style, who is my Congress representative. Well, he doesn't represent me very well, but anyway. He posts pictures of himself on Facebook. He's at the fair, he's at every place, but you better believe those are not with constituents like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would bend his ear a different way.
Yeah.
He's not at the fair with Angelina Schlegel. He's at the fair with other people.
Yeah.
Who agree with him.
Yeah.
But most importantly, he's not going out for dinner after a session
Exactly.
with Mark Pocan.
That's exactly it. And Rick would often say, gone are the days when they were all there together and their kids went to the same schools. When your kids go to the same schools, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out a way to get along, to listen to one another. And when you talk about across the aisle, that's what you're talking about. It's
And that goes back. It's too bad
Forever.
Anne's not here. That goes back to Abigail Adams, who started having little like cocktail parties and she would invite members of Congress from across the aisle.
yeah, yeah.
And she said if they don't enjoy each other's company ever, it's to the detriment of the country.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
those aren't her exact words,
Yeah.
but that's why she did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have to keep speaking to each other, and they don't anymore. They don't have town halls anymore
Right.
because I might show up. He doesn't want to talk to me.
Go ahead, Anne.
This is a topic that's enormous, and we are not actually on a timeline where we have to accomplish things in an hour. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing, or we would be willing to discuss not moving on to a next chapter and maybe repeating this experience next week. Just a thought.
So continue to tackle this whole idea of from liberation to freedom and
what comes next
and how that plays out in our
just a thought.
Well, what does come next? I don't even know. I'm not in a hurry. From ugliness, a beauty emerges. Deuteronomy, Psalm 137, Matthew. Why don't we read the next couple chapters, and why don't we begin with this place where we're putting a little bit of a
Sounds great. No problem.
Semicolon.
And I think, Anne, that the conversation we're having today actually runs through everything we've read thus far,
it's true.
and probably will continue to read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that just road is the one he's urging us to walk along.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a comment. I think I figured out that the title of this book is from Rumi. Do you guys know that already?
Is from Rumi?
Yeah.
I don't know that, but do you think it is?
I don't know. I was reading something and it was attributed to him, and it was this phrase, "We make the road by walking." Just a thought. I was like, really? Maybe they're ahead of me on this. I don't know.
I don't know. Kathy Brennan, you wanted to say something. Is that thought still there?
Oh, yes. Well, it's got to the point where I've seen younger people in union meetings don't understand that fraternizing across the aisle was a way of keeping, congressional work civil, that now they look at it as conspiring with the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
It's completely flipped on its head.
Yeah. I think you're right. And
traitors.
Yeah.
You should live in Wisconsin and be a Democrat and try to pick somebody to vote for governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
Is it
really,
just me, or
crazy.
are the politics in Wisconsin very weird?
Right now they are just bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I do have a repair person coming to see on an air conditioner here,
And
so
I have to go roll meat, lunch meat for tomorrow's funeral. So
Oh, so,
I'm making the trays.
well, bring our good wishes to the Whitford family. Just can't, so
We will.
makes it,
Paula and I certainly will.
yeah.
So next time we're reading 11 and 12,
Yeah,
but
and
we're
again, I think that's never feel afraid to. I mean, I think
and
you're
maybe Anne, you could
remind.
respond to either Jane or my whatever it is we write
Yeah,
and
Okay.
say, let's let's keep this in mind
yeah.
as we
yeah.
I'm
continue the
going to own that.
conversation.
I,
Let's
I'm not going to throw it at other people. I'm going to
well,
own it
let's
and
keep
answer
picking up this thread because